So we have here the Attack Trail XT9, full carbon trail bike, 150 millimeter quad link suspension in the back with 160 millimeter travel adjust pike fork. This is a Shimano XT 2x10 drivetrain with Easton Haven tubeless wheels. Lev Integra dropper post, Easton Haven bar and stem as well. This bike is really a burlier trail bike than the Mountain Vision. Obviously the longer travel points to that, but we've also got the Hans Domp 235 tires instead of the knobby nicks. The travel adjust fork is there in case, well, because this bike's intended to be ridden on sort of burlier terrain, you're gonna have to ride up before you ride down. We went to the Monarch Plus rear shock on this bike to get a little bit more oil volume and a little bit better damper performance in the middle spec bike here. And it's really sort of designed out to be enduro race bike or sort of big mountain adventure bike, the kind of bike that you have to pedal up in order to pedal down, and really designed for people a little more gravity oriented than sort of cross country. So that's the rundown on the Attack Trail. Has a lot of the same features, internal cable routing, down tube protection, molded chainstay protector, but all the spec models in this category are 2x10 instead of 1x10 on the Mountain Vision XT Pro because we think we're going to have to pedal that bike more. And the purpose of this display is to highlight both the similarities and the differences between the quad link suspension system and the new Isotrack system. Quad link's a system that in some form or another has been around in the Marin line since 2003. This is the third version of it, so we call it Quad 3, pretty clever. Quad Link is our highest tech, sort of highest performance suspension system. It has great small bump compliance, it has a progressive leverage ratio, and really allows us to wring the most performance out of the rear shock. But that performance does come at a slight weight penalty with the addition of the lower linkage and the additional shock hardware that is associated with that pivot, as well obviously as this connector tube here. So with that in mind, and wanting the Mountain Vision to be a class-leading, lightweight, trail-capable bike, we had to sort of take a step back and start from scratch and say, what do we want out of that Mountain Vision? And what we settled on was this new Isotrack suspension system. So we've removed the lower link here and replaced it with a big box section chainstay yoke and big, tall, stiff chainstay members. Obviously they're all through axle, so that helps tie the rear end together. But we've removed the pivots from the rear of the bike and concentrated the flex and the seat stay sort of above and forward of the dropout. As the bike moves through its travel, it only deflects that seat stay by about 3.5 degrees, and it takes about 20 pounds of pressure to fully displace the rear wheel through the travel. The result is a suspension system that's about 1/2 pound lighter than the quad link system. It does give up some small bump compliance, but the mid-stroke performance that we get out of the shock tuning is really quite good, and we get almost the same amount of stiffness in the rear wheel that we get in a hardtail. So we're really happy with how the Isotrack system is working out. This is a system that's used on the Mountain Visions right now and helps us achieve that lightweight but still maintain that trail worthiness.